So this is the first time that I am doing this workshop. It's brand new. I pull my I pull my audiences, I pull the free group, uh, and we create things based on what all of that says. So there's 1,700 people in the free group or 1,700 farmers. And I was amazed at how many of them don't use email marketing and are losing sales because of that. So that is what prompted this workshop. So it's something that you have asked for, and here it is. Um, so just some ground rules. Make sure, can you all check that you are on mute? I'm hearing some background noise. Can you just all just check your microphone has a red line through it and make sure you stay on mute? Um, and then if you have any questions, you can write them in the chat when they pop into your head, or you can write them down somewhere, or you can ask them right at the end. I prefer it when you ask me verbally at the end because then we can have a chat and it's nice to meet you all. But if you are shy, just write it in the chat and I'll go through the chat at the end and answer them all. I do encourage questions. Um, so let's see if the chat is working. Just so that you all know where it is and you can find it, write in the chat where you are from. And then when I go through the chat at the end, I can see where everyone's from. I nearly always win this game because I put Scotland. Everyone else is in Canada or the USA, but write in the chat where you're from. I'll see all the notifications pop up, but I won't go in and check it just yet. I'll check it at the end. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, why you were losing 50% of sales. So, this is just a quick overview, and I'm going to show you the exact method that I use on accounts that I manage. I manage some farmers' accounts, and what I teach my farmers how to get those sales. Sound good? And then at the very end, after the free training, there is going to be a pause, and then there's an opportunity to see what it's like to work with me on the other side. Are you ready? So, workshop overview. This is a free workshop. Um, and you will learn all about your selling platform and the processes, though we are going to focus on email. So, whether you've been posting with no bites or you don't even know where to begin, this training will show you exactly how to attract the right customers without wasting time or money, and then turn those customers or turn those leads into customers. The struggle that I hear from all of you is your meat is amazing. You produce fantastic beef or pork or chicken or lamb, but you just can't get buyers. And you are not alone. And I'm going to walk you through everything you need to get those sales. The solution, it sounds simple and it kind of is, but you build your platform, you identify your customer, you target your customer, and then you drive that traffic to your platform. And it's that step four that we're going to go into right now, which is email. So, workshop agenda, part one, our story. I see some new faces and new names, so I'm going to introduce myself and tell you my story and why I do this. And it's how I saved our ranch from foreclosure. Part two, the most important step you need to sell your beef to your customers. Part three, targeting and traffic, and why that is so important. Part four, next steps, where to go from here, what I can offer you to get you to the next level. And then part five is live questions and answers. Quite often, the actual presentation takes maybe 45 minutes to an hour. And then the questions I love hearing everyone. I love how your minds work. And sometimes we've gone on for an extra hour at the end. I will stay here for as long as you need me to. All right. So in this workshop, you will learn how to use the free tools available to you to find customers. Step two, why getting an email address is easier than making a sale. Step three, how to send emails and the different types of emails that you should be sending. Step four, why email is so important and why not using it. You are missing out on almost 50% of sales. And step five, how those emails make sales. You are in the right place if you've tried to sell direct already, but people either find your beef is too expensive or you have to make it so cheap you don't make any money. You are trying to or currently are selling direct, but you are struggling to find customers or customers who will pay your prices. You are sending out emails, but no one is buying or interacting, and you can't understand why. And you want to sell direct to consumer, but you've no idea how. Those are the four most popular reasons. There are others, so if you don't hit one of them, don't worry. I'm sure this is still for you. They're just the four things that come to me that farmers come to me with. And I just wanted to say I am so proud of you that something that I'm a big believer in is taking that first step is hard. It's that first step is the biggest and hardest. And once you commit and get over that, everything else kind of falls into place. So recognizing that you might need some help and then going and getting the help you need is amazing. And I'm so glad you're here. And I'm so glad that I'm going to be able to help you and we're going to get you those sales. Sound good? Hi, I'm Amy. I saved our ranch from foreclosure, selling direct, and now I've made it my mission to help all farmers. This is just one of my most famous, I guess. If you've been on social media the last few years, Maggie is 82, or here she's 82. She looks amazing. She was going to lose her ranch. I heard her on a podcast, and I reached out to the podcaster and said I can help her. And I did. And this is what she said, got us up and running in literally a few days. Wow, we would certainly recommend this course. It's a complete game changer. Amy's marketing course got us up and running in literally a few days. Where else can you get that kind of result? Amy is a wealth of practical, proven knowledge, sharing what works and what doesn't. That alone saves thousands in resources spent on trial and error. And then results after a week after she finished the program. We've sold 4 quarters, 8,175, 15 pounds of jerky, sold out of stock. Amy's method works. Bless you, Amy. Your system works very well. We thank God for you. And they're doing amazing. And I love using her as an example because she doesn't even own a TV. Yet she got stuck in on an old IBM computer. She got stuck into social media and the website, and they're doing amazing. Uh, These are just a couple of other testimonials from some farmers. You can check these out on Google as well. Karen, I thought I had it all figured out until I took the Empowering Farmers course. It's packed with everything no one's telling you about selling direct to consumer. If you're feeling stuck, frustrated, or unsure if you really need to be online, this is the course. The only thing I regret is not joining sooner. It's opened huge opportunities for our family, and I'm so grateful to have Amy in my corner. She truly gets it. Chad, Sellbrief Direct goes above and beyond to help you get started. I made an error which created issues with my Meta business account and I could not find a solution. I reached out to Sellbrief Direct, and although Amy had not seen this issue before, she used her knowledge and connections and was able to sort out the issue for me. I can't thank her enough. Um, These are just some more testimonials. I appreciate all that you've done for me. I have nothing but positive things. Thank you, Amy. Wouldn't be doing what we're doing without you. We're processing 17 head. Sales just keep on improving. Travis Browsey Acres. 9,500, 11,000, 11,500. And these are deposits. So a deposit is like 100, 200, $400. And then the balance is always due prior to delivery. So, and deposits become your cash flow. Okay, my story. So we are first generation ranchers. I have lots now, but back then zero ranching experience. My husband has more farming experience than I do. He is from New Zealand and I am from Scotland. His grandfather ran a sheep station and he would help out every chance he got. But we both come from the maritime and yachting industries. We chose Canada because it is halfway between. And that is literally finger on a map, halfway between. No one can accuse us of favoritism. Scott was chief engineer on privately owned yachts, and we met when I was designing and installing the satellite communications equipment for the boat he worked on. I'm an engineer and I have a master's in business, and I gave it all up for cows. That's me and my husband. And then that at the bottom right is a boat called Muchas Mas that my husband built. And if you're in Florida, you'll probably see it in Fort Lauderdale. I saved our ranch from foreclosure by selling beef direct to consumer with a laptop and a cell phone. Um, I'll go through this as fast as I can with a couple of sips of water. So in March 2018, we were living in the lower mainland of British Columbia, which is like an hour south of Vancouver. We had we moved from there in March 2018. We moved from there to the ranch I'm in now, which is about 5 hours inland. It's 520 acres. We started with only 6 acres. We went to the auction and we bought 4 Hereford steers and we fed them up on our 6 acres. We had horses. We kept one for ourselves. We sold three, and it really did work. So we wrote a business plan based solely on selling beef direct to consumer, and we released equity in our 6 acres to buy this ranch that I'm on now, so that we could just sell beef. It was going to be our sole source of income. In December, in December of 2018, we actually resigned from our office desk jobs, whatever you want to call them. And so at that point, selling beef direct was our sole source of income. We were still carrying 2 mortgages. So fast forward, the property market crashed. So when we put our 6 acres up for sale, it was at like the top. And then we just chased it down. It was awful. And we ended up actually losing money. So they had released all this equity to buy this place, and then the property market crashed. So we ended up owing a lot more than than what we got. And it cost us, I think, $10,000 to sell our house. So the bank became very nervous and started to foreclose. To foreclose on a ranch or a farm, it takes 12 months, not three. So we did have some time, but we gave up everything for this. We moved here with 3 young kids, 9, 7, and 4. Selling direct had to work. So in those 12 months, I pushed and I slaved and I started building an order book. I was taking deposits months in advance, and we had to increase our processing slots, but the bank still wouldn't accept that as guaranteed income, and they continued to foreclose. So eventually, I went over our local bank's or branch's head to their main office in Saskatchewan, and presented my order book and an order history. And at that point, I was bringing in $50,000 a month every month for the last 5 months, and I had an order book for like the next 6 months. And that was enough for them to halt proceedings and admit they were wrong. And when I was really struggling, when all of this was going off, you searched Google for everything, and I found another company that would help me sell beef direct, but it was going to cost me thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that I didn't have. I didn't have a credit card. I had nothing to put it on. So it was, I'm going to do this myself. And I did. Um, Selling beef direct to consumer saved our ranch. And at that time, I was posting a lot of stuff on our ranch page and on our personal pages. And I would get farmers from all over Canada, all over the States, going through the same thing we were, or who were trying to sell direct. And I would hand my phone number out like candy. And they would call me, and I'd be on the phone to some lady in Oregon or some guy in Wisconsin or something, telling them about how to do this, to the point where I turned it into empowering farmers. So basically, this is your platform, and you should all have a version of this. Um, you need social media, you need a website, landing pages, email marketing, and an online store. Two, three, and five may sound like the same thing, but they're not. They're ever so slightly different. But if you only have social media, a website, and an online store, you're not going to get anything. Like, you have to have all these different pieces. Um, and I'm going to show you the difference between them and what they should look like. And we're really focusing on number four, email marketing, because 75% of you said you don't use it, which you really need to be, is what makes you sales. Sound good? So this is just a visual representation. We have social media. You could probably add in here Twitter or X, it's now called, or TikTok, um, website and landing page, email marketing, and your online store. Social media is the first step. This is the entrance into your funnel. This is your pool of leads. This is where you find your customers. Regardless of if you are running paid ads or you're using organic traffic, social media is the most economical, fastest, and surefire method to find leads. And leads, we convert leads to customers via email. Um, email is very important. Um, and then your website and your landing page are not the same thing. I will touch on that briefly in a couple of slides, but that's not what this workshop is about. I have another workshop all about landing pages. Um, Email marketing, this is where the actual selling happens. And you cannot just rely on a personal Gmail account or Hotmail or anything like that. And then hope for the best. You have to use a proper email marketing software integration, and a lot more on this later. That's what this whole workshop is about. And finally, we have our online store. This is where your leads hand over their hard-earned cash and become a lifelong customer. Make sense? I hope you're all nodding. Can't see you. You're not on my screen. Um, so this this next wee bit might get a little dry. It's just the rest of that story. So in January of 2019, I didn't even have Instagram. I had Facebook, and I started up our ranch page and posted everywhere, kept getting banned because you're not allowed to sell meat on Facebook. Got put in Facebook jail, created a new account, but it was kind of working. And then I discovered Instagram in October 2020. And that's when things really started to take off. Instagram has something like three times the reach of Facebook. It's not the same, or it's a little bit different to use, but using them together um, is where you're going to find all your success. Um, when things started ramping up and it was impossible to keep track of orders, I would get orders through Facebook, I would get orders through Messenger, I would get orders through cell phone, text message, phone. People would mail me checks, and trying to keep a track of everything was a nightmare. So that's when I was like, I need an online store, I need a website. Um, so I designed my website on Squarespace. This was a long time ago, and back then it did not have an e-commerce, so my store is on Square. Now you can do it all in one, or you can use Shopify. But one thing that Squarespace does have, it has its own email marketing integration. You don't need anything else. Everything is internal to Squarespace. You don't need Mailchimp or Klaviyo or Flowdesk or anything like that. Everything is internal. They're all great, but I like how it's all in one. Um, and my first email that I sent was awful. It went to 116 people. I forgot to put in the link. I think I was trying to sell short ribs, and I forgot to put in the link to short ribs. Then I had to send it again, and then I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is a failure." I really had no idea what I was doing, but I did sell all the short ribs. But then I was terrified of that unsubscribe. And it wasn't until somebody told me that who cares? Like, who cares about the unsubscribe? If they unsubscribe, they weren't going to purchase anyway. It cleans up your list. So, and I was sending them like once a month, and then I started to send once a week, and now I send about three times a week. You need to send email. So eventually your platform should look like this: social media, website and landing pages, email marketing, and online store. And I hope you all have all of these different pieces. Social media. When I'm doing my strategy calls, I tell people my dad is 88, and my dad has more social media than I do. He has TikTok, which I don't have. I think he even snaps with my kids. So he has Snapchat. He has Facebook and he has Instagram and he is 88 and he sends me wine recommendations and recipes and all kinds of stuff, books. We read the same books. And he loves it and he's 88 and he is probably your ideal customer because he loves meat. But he's 88, so don't discount age that everyone that you want to sell to is on social media. Social media is free. The organic traffic is super powerful. All the marketing greats from years gone by would say go where the customers are. And 20, 30 years ago, that would be a physical place. If you wanted to target gym goers, you put flyers at a gym. Now, everyone is inside social media. So your copy or your creative would target those ideal customers. You cannot just post pics of ranch life or meat. You have to manipulate social media in your favor, and you have to understand how the algorithm works to do that. And that's another, I have a whole module on that as well. This is just a workshop on email, but I touched on the others so you're not kind of left stranded. So then steps 2 and 3 was your website and landing page. Keep your website simple. I cannot stress that enough that your website doesn't have to be a blog and it doesn't have to have paragraphs and paragraphs of text that's saying everything about you. It shouldn't have too many videos or it should load quickly, be striking, and capture your attention. We all need websites, but you can have the best website in the world, but unless you're able to drive traffic to it, it's useless. Traffic equals customers equals sales. Website is great for your SEO, that's search engine optimization, and to showcase who you are, but don't blog. All that blogging and all that information should go here, social media, not on your website. Uh, Email. This is what we're all waiting for. You have to think of your platform as a journey, that you get that customer at stage one, social media, and you're holding their hand and you're walking down the path until you hit each of these milestones. So then you send them to your website or landing page and you get their email address. Um, you cannot use Gmail. If you are sending emails, you have to use some kind of email marketing integration or platform that slots in with whatever your website is, because you need to be able to track the data. Data is power. You need to be able to see that customer journey. Where did they come from? And then if they dropped off, where? So, you need to see, did they read the email? Did the email even get sent? Did they click on anything inside that email? Did they purchase? And if you're just sending from your own personal email address, you don't have any of that data. Does this make sense? Write email in the chat if you send emails. Write email in the chat. I want to see. Okay. And then step 5 is your store. Keep it simple. So this is just an example of my store. There's categories. You can go into any of the categories to find what you want. And it just keeps it simple. Okay, why you are losing up to 50% of sales? It's because you're not using email marketing. And this isn't a statistic for us ranchers. This is for if you take e-commerce, digital e-commerce, anyone who has an online store selling anything from products to services to experiences, I think it's 46 or 47% of sales are made up from email marketing. So if you aren't using email marketing, you are not reaching your full sales potential. Does that make sense? Uh, you're 60% more likely to get an email address than make a sale. And I'll explain what that means. That when we are trying to grab that person as a lead, if your creative or your post or your ad is going for that hard sale, you have 0.5% chance of making that sale, less than 0.5%. But you're 60% more likely to get an email address. So someone doesn't want to purchase something right now, but they like what you're offering, they are more inclined to give you their email address so you can keep them updated. And then when they are ready, they'll make a purchase. But if it's just a sale with no way to kind of get on your books, you've lost them and they may never see you again. You own your list. No one can take it away. That I have other farmers that I work with who have had their websites hacked. They've had their social media hacked. They've been thrown in Facebook jail like I was, and they can't access anything. And so if you are relying on your followers to be your customers, you're at the mercy of someone else. If you own an email list, you own it. No one can take that away. And you can transfer it to any different platform. Emails are a direct line to your customer. It's literally a link that is linking you to a customer, and all you have to do is send an email. And then you can even tell if that was delivered, read, or clicked. And you can't do that on social media. Does that make sense? So I have a couple of analogies that I like. And I wrote them into Chat GPT. So I wrote into Chat GPT what image I wanted, and this is what it came up with, and I love it. So um, if you imagine that your process is a leaking bucket, um, and all your leads and all your potential sales are inside that bucket, but that bucket has lots of holes. So all those sales and leads, you're losing them. They're leaking out of all these holes before you can convert them. So a sale has come in or a lead has come in, and before you can capture them as a sale, they're gone. They've They've passed through, they've fallen through a crack, they've passed through a hole, and you've lost them because your process is a leaky bucket. This will make more sense. So, email plugs up those leaks. So, imagine you are plugging all those holes so you don't lose any of those sales, and you plug them with email. And you're probably going, Amy, you are insane. But look, so you've plugged those holes with welcome emails, with abandoned cart emails. So someone has been on your store, they have put in all their details, but the phone rang and they went away and they shut it down and they lost everything. But if you have an abandoned cart flow, you can email them and say, "Hey, looks like you forgot something. Do you want to complete this order?" And you recapture that order. Order again flows. You have a customer who's made one order, then life gets busy and they forget about everything. You have an automation set up from 3 months from their order to say, "Hey, do you want to buy again?" They're like, "Oh yeah, awesome." You cannot rely on them to come to you. As soon as you have that email address, you should be plugging those holes. You can send general emails. That's where that blogging comes in. Not too much. There is definitely a very sensitive balance of the types of emails you should send. Um, but general emails are also really good to kind of show the personal side of things. Product launch emails if you're about to launch a subscription, or I do this a lot if I have a surplus of something, I send an email. I send an email with, I think it was a few years ago, I had a lot of shank left over and it was summer. No one is going to buy shank for ossobuco in the summer. It's like a winter food. So I made tacos. I put shank into a slow cooker. I pulled it apart and made shredded beef tacos, put a picture up, sent it to my list. I sold out of shanks. I had nothing left over. But if I didn't do emails, I wouldn't have been able to do that. And the list goes on and on and on. But that leaky bucket, all those holes are plugged with emails. So emails are single-handedly the most powerful sales tool in your arsenal. And if you can see how emails can make you sales, comment bucket in the chat. If you liked my analogy and the leaky bucket analogy makes sense to you, comment bucket. I want to see. I want to see. But emails are amazing. Like you can grab and catch people before you lose them, but with email. So if you have been to my workshops before, I always pull my farmers. I said that right at the beginning. So I pull my stories, I pull my social media, I pull the free group just to get an idea of what you are stuck with or what you're having issues with or kind of what is helping farmers. And so these are polls I put up in my group and on my stories. So I click any that apply, also add, do you have a website? Load. Do you send emails? None. Two people. Um, do you use social media? Loads. Do you run ads? Not so much. That's not as important, but they have a website and they have social media, but they don't send emails. So how are they talking to their customers? You were losing out on that link. A poll that I put up in my stories, 75% of farmers said they do not use email marketing. 75%. Um, and then Willow followed on from my poll, just like said, why? So why aren't you sending emails? And the biggest one was can never think of content. The other ones I don't want to bother, I don't know how, and I don't have email marketing software. Content, it's such an easy issue to overcome. We can absolutely give you oodles of content that will make sales always. Um, this isn't in my script and it's just popped into my head, but it's Cyber Monday today. We've just had Black Friday. How many of you purchased something from a Black Friday email? Like, how many of you got an email about, I don't know, anything, aftershave, belts, food, gadgets, anything for Christmas, and you jumped on it because you got an email on the Black Friday sales? I bet there's more than you might admit. Even I have. I bought a whole heap of Christmas presents through Black Friday sales emails that I probably wouldn't have done if I didn't get the email. 50% of sales. Okay, so email marketing. I said this before, but I'm going to say it again. You cannot use Gmail. That might seem silly to some, but so many of my farmers, they have like an Excel spreadsheet and then they copy all those email addresses into their own email and then they hit send. And you cannot do that. You need to be able to track. Um, Data is power. It really is. It gives you all the tools. So, just to kind of explain this a little bit more, so I don't know if you can see this. So, this first column is sent, 573, and then 99% were delivered. So, they're equal. But if this second column was like a quarter of the way down, then before even looking at anything else, I have a deliverability problem. Maybe it's going into spam. Maybe my domain has been compromised and it's getting flagged for a virus or something. But that is something that we can fix. But we wouldn't know that if we didn't have the data. So then we go to the third column, which is open. So if it's 46% open, which is really good. You want at least 26% open rate, possibly 30 if you're getting a warmer list. But if this was down at like 10%, then no one's opening it. So it's been sent, it's been delivered, but it hasn't been opened, then my subject is poor. No one wants to open it. So we can experiment with different subject lines. A lot of these email marketing platforms, they allow you to send the same email again to people who haven't opened it, and you just change the subject line. Or you can split test a subject line and see which one got more opens, and then you use that one again. But without this data, you wouldn't be able to do that. Um, and then the last one is clicked. So we want at least a 1% click rate. This one got 6%, which is really, really good. We want at least a 1% conversion and 1% click rate. And then we know that our emails are working. And then if we're getting all these clicks, but no one's making sales, then because the link would be for an item in your store. If no one is making a sale, then email is not the issue. Your shop, your store, that item is not converting. But if you don't have that data, you cannot troubleshoot and see where the blockage is. You're just flying blind. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. This is just another one. This one got a 43% open rate, which is really good. It got a slightly lower click rate, but still a good click rate, 4%. So this is for one of my farmers, and we were actively driving traffic to her store, but just to certain products. So we weren't sending them to her store, we were sending them to specific items inside her store, and it converted into sales. And we could only do that with email. We couldn't have done that any other way. We could only do that in email, and we had that direct line. So all of this made a lot of sales for her. If you have a warm list, you should be converting emails into sales at about 1 to 2%. If your list is colder, then you should convert it around 0.5%. But you want that list to get warmer. And there are so many skills to be able to do that. For You can retarget your list. You can send them back to your social media. You can put things in your email that are going to engage them and warm them up. So if you have a cold list, you should be able to warm them up and convert them into that warm list over time. So for example, if you send an email to 500 people on your list, you should make 5 to 10 sales. If it is a colder list, you should still make 2 to 3 sales. And if you're not, then we can fix that because that's definitely an issue. You should make sales from every email that you're sending. And you can also grow your list. You should also always be growing your list and cleaning your list. Rules of email. Um, Newsletters. How many of you send newsletters to your customer? When you send email, do you just send a newsletter? Type news in the chat so I can see. Um, because we want you to stop doing that. But nearly everybody does. Nearly everyone just sends these newsletters that have hundreds of pictures and loads of text, and it's this dialogue of everything that's gone on that week or that month. Um, don't do it. Do you read newsletters from other mailing lists? Um, it's a very outdated tactic and don't do it. All that blogging, all that newslettery thing should be on social media. Um, the rule of email is a rule of one: one subject, one story, one link, one product. Um, don't mix it all up. If you have multiple subjects and multiple stories and multiple links for multiple products, it's much harder to convert that email into a sale. Um, and I'm going to give you an example. So, I do send Ranch Life emails, but they're short. They're not a big newsletter, and it really follows the rule of one. And I'll give you an example. So, I sent it out to my beef list. We'd been branding cattle, 300 and something head. We bring them in the morning. My husband gets very angry with us all. I'm sure other wives can relate. But we get it done and we have a laugh and friends help and it's great. And I nearly always take a couple of pictures and I take one of me and him, dusty, grimy, sweaty, and hot at the end. And I send it to my list with working cows still married. And people laugh. They think it's funny. It's a super short email. And I don't put a link in it. It's just an email to engage. It's just an email to get, and so many people respond. Um, I might ask a question, but it's an email that the only thing I want to do with that email is to warm up my list. There's no links or anything. Another one that I did, it was this spring. We were seeding, but it was still a bit wet. I sent my son down to the field in the side by side to give my husband a cup of coffee, and he got the side by stuck in a ditch. So then I had to radio Scott to come and pull the side by side out of the ditch, and he also got stuck in the ditch because it was so wet. So I have a picture of the tractor stuck and the side by side stuck, and I had to get my neighbor to come out and pull them both out with his tractor. Snapped a picture, told the story, people laughed, people responded, but it was super short. It was one picture, one story, no links. So you can still tell your stories, but don't stop doing newsletters. They're kind of outdated. Okay. Rule of one. If you don't remember anything else, remember the rule of one. One subject, one story, one link, one product. Much easier to track and much easier to convert. Automation. So automations, if you go back to that leaky bucket, automations plug those leaks. So we have an automation every time we get a new subscriber, and we keep them interested until they're ready to buy. We have automations for abandoned carts. We have automations for repeat orders. We have all kinds of automations. And the more automations I have, the less work I have to do and the more I can ranch. And they make sales. Um, and there are certain types of emails that people want to stay on your list, or they want to reply to, or they want to purchase. And email marketing blends all of that. And um, the best emails sound like they're coming from a friend. They don't scream newsletter or spam or anything like that. They literally sound like they're coming from a friend. There's no pictures, it's just text. And they are the emails that convert the best. But you have to use a mixture of all kinds of things that you can't just stick to one particular type. So uh we do show you, or we do go into a lot of the different types of emails you send and what when to use them, how to use them, and what they're good for. Awesome. Hope that makes sense. And you're all nodding your heads. Um, so how do you build your list? This is where landing pages come in. You cannot rely on a pop-up to gather an email address. Pop-ups are great, and I went to a free workshop from someone else about how to use pop-ups, like how to when and how and wording, and used correctly, they're amazing. But as soon as you exit them, you don't see them again for 28 days. They have a cookie, it remembers you, so it doesn't pop up every time you open that site because that gets kind of annoying. Um, and you also cannot rely on a banner at the bottom of your page, or a banner here and there, or a contact us, because you're assuming that people are going to browse your whole page or go to different pages and give you their email address. You cannot rely on customers at all. You have to force them, groom them, force them, bribe them. So how do you build a list? There are a number of ways. Inside Empowering Farmers, I teach you all the ways, as they all have their own place. Um, but you will get scale, so you will get a lot of email addresses doing a giveaway, but they will be cold emails. They're only joining your list because they want to win something, but that's fine. Just understand that you need to get lots of them. So say you get 1,000 emails, you do the draw, you might lose 500, but you kept 500. And we do teach ways and automations about how to keep them engaged and how to get them purchasing before you do the draw. But by targeting, and this is something else, we can grow a warm list without a giveaway. And we use landing pages. So we send them to a landing page that is designed to capture an email address. And all the copy and everything on that page is targeted to your ideal customers. So you need to understand who your customer is, identify your customer, target your customer, drive traffic to that page, and then capture their email address. And then that list will be a lot warmer. But you need to constantly be increasing your list constantly, because you might get 20 unsubscribes, so you need 20 new ones. That you need to constantly update that list. And this is how. Um, does that make sense? I hope so. All right, the proof is in the pudding. How do we convert that lead into a customer? You have to drive them somewhere in order to convert that person from a viewer to a lead to a customer, and we do that with email. Um, This is one of my farmers, Mark. So Sell Beef Direct. I have my email and social media up and working, not 100%. I sent one email this morning, went outside for a couple of hours, came back in and sold three beef quarters. Amazing. Thanks, Amy. This is what this industry needs. I'm going back outside now and sell more beef. Just an email. Imagine how long you would have to sit at a farmer's market to sell three quarters of beef. A long time, whereas one email over a morning cup of coffee and you're done. Emails can also be campaigns. Um, this is one of mine. So this is one of my campaigns that I started in October. It was to pre-sell for Christmas and to make sure everybody knew that we wouldn't be doing a Christmas delivery. We were taking the month off. Um, so there was four emails that I sent, and you can see it does actually give you. There is no pictures. They're pretty dry, black and white. This one has a link. There's a link in there. Um, and this is what I sent. My list is 3,000 people, so it's not a massive list really. And we are doing 20 head a month. This is the results. So that was October 16th to November 4th. I've taken the date time. Um, Everything is deposits, but it sold. Someone paid a balance on their beef. 16 pre-cut quarters, nine sides, four T-bone pre-cut quarters, and a whole cow. It made $10,000 in deposits, but over $60,000 from emails. All those sales on my list, it had a 2% conversion rate, which is slap bang, you need 1 to 2%. But I wouldn't have made any of these sales without email. If I was just relying on social media and my website, none. I wouldn't have been able to tell them everything I wanted to tell them and know if they've read it and seen it, which I can track. So if I hadn't sent those emails, I wouldn't have made 60,000 in sales. Tracking. So this is my title, Save Scott's Sanity and Your Christmas Dinner. That was my subject line. It got loads of opens, 49% open rate, which is really good. Um, I was blown away by how many people replied. I didn't even ask for a reply, but so many people replied saying, "You guys work so hard, you deserve to take a month off, and we love your beef, we love you guys, blah, 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 blah." That it was really nice because they think they know us because I email them so often. But it was really nice. 22 unsubscribed. That's what I'm saying. You will get unsubscribed, but who cares? Because I made 60 grand. 3,141 delivered to 3,116. 49% opened, 5% clicked, and it made lots of sales. This one isn't me. This is a new farmer. They just joined us at the beginning of October, end of September, beginning of October, getting their email and everything set up. 50%, 67.76% of his revenue has come from email. He's brand new, he's just starting. But that's all deposit. So that's like three cows worth, which is awesome for someone just starting out. But it's all come from email. He is using Klaviyo. That's what gives this dashboard, but email is making him sales. If he wasn't sending emails, he wouldn't be making those sales. And I don't think his list is very big at all. I think there's like 300 people on it. Um, this is another one that has been with us not that long. Almost 100%, 92.3% of sales of revenue has come from email, which is amazing. Again, if he wasn't sending emails, he wouldn't be getting these sales. This is another one. This is a farmer I was managing. This was between Christmas and New Year. So a lot of these, this one I think was I sent an email out and it was, "Don't miss this. Prices are going to go up in the new year and we won't be processing again until the spring. Place your orders now." But One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine emails, and one, two, three, four made sales. A lot of sales, because remember, these are deposits. And this is a pretty cold list. There's only 26% of people are opening. Um, so his list, I think, is around about 900. This is a cold list, less than 30% open rate. This is one of my farmers last year. You can see the sales that come in regularly from emails. If you're not sending emails, you are not making these sales. You cannot rely on foot traffic alone. You need email. And you almost need to force people to give you their emails. And that's where those landing pages come in. But I'm hoping now you are understanding the importance of email. So if you now understand how important email marketing is, please comment email inside the chat. So I can kind of get a feel for your, if the penny is dropping that you need email marketing. Um, so I'm going to have a sip of water. Okay. Why is email important? You can control your customer journey. Um, I'm not a control freak, not really, but I like to be able to control as much as I can. And I like to be able to control how I talk to people and that I own those contacts. And that is why email is so important. It is a direct line to your customer's wallet. Without email, we're just relying on did they log on to Facebook today? Did they log on to social media? Has anyone been to my website? Email marketing is an integral part of that whole platform because it's how we drive traffic. We drive traffic to get capture that email address, and then we drive those leads that are in your world. You're not competing with everyone else on social media. You own that list. We drive that traffic to our store, and that's how we make those sales. Does that make sense? All right, so that is the end of the free workshop. Um, So the next few slides is what it looks like to work with me. So if you have two options. If you only came for the free workshop, you're option A, and that's amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Um, and you think you've got this, you're going to try this on your own. Please take all those actionable tips. You will get sent a replay. Um, but take action. Just start. Like go and send stuff. Willow, who is running the chat, she is going to put the email address into the chat. So if you want to go it alone, you can email us hello@sellbeefdirect.com if you get stuck or if you want to ask us any questions. We do answer our email. Um, but if that's all you came for, amazing. I wish you all the luck in the world and I hope you get your email dialed in. If you are option B and you want to see what it looks like behind the scenes and to work with me, you're ready to go all in, but you need to work, you need support, then I'm inviting you to kind of see what that looks like and how we can help you. Comment BTS for behind the scenes. Comment BTS in the chat. So I know that there are people who want to stick around and ask questions at the end. There is a live question and answer. I will answer anything. But comment BTS in the chat if you want to see behind the scenes of what it looks like. Huh. I've got a very scratchy throat. Okay. Um, oh, there we go. These are just a few more testimonials. Um, this is one of the farmers that I work with, and we're consciously driving traffic to her website with emails. Um, she increased traffic to her site 1,000% over a year because we were now actively driving traffic through email to items on her store, and that translated into sales. Um, that is Christy Carrier. Sarah Benson. I've been with other programs and never saw results. After working with Amy, our sales quadrupled in 1 month. 451% increase in sales. Um, and that again is with emails. Michael and Nikki. I started working with them last year. And the first email, they were having a couple of issues. They're like, this isn't really working. And it was like, just be patient. It will. And they started with me at the beginning of May. By the end of May, they had a couple of sales. Um, and then at the beginning of June, they started to see more consistent orders and started getting some bulk orders. And then I got this message. We wouldn't be doing what we were doing without you. We are processing 17 head in August. I said, that's amazing. So happy. That really steamrollered. And she's like, it really freaking did. That once you start doing this and you start sending those emails out, someone who saw a post from you, say in March, but they'd just been to Costco and they had a freezer full of everything and they didn't need to buy anything from you, but they still want to, but they have to wait. As long as you're keeping them up to date with things, the next time you post, it might have been a Labor Day special offer. They'll be like, "Yes, I'm ready. My freezer is empty. It's time to purchase." And they make a purchase. And the more people you get into your list like that, the more emails that you're sending them and targeting them, you will get those sales coming in every day. It's a great feeling. Um, Bryan Family Farm, they started this year. My husband and I have been ranching part-time for the last 10 years. They started with me this year. We had come to realize that we were missing a big market, that lots of people were buying from out of town, and a lot of locals didn't even know we were here. We did not know how to move forward and how to put ourselves out there. We fell into Amy's ads empowering farmers, and it changed everything. They built us a beautiful website, and we started watching and listening to all the steps, and off to the race we went. We started our free giveaway, and within 2 months, our monthly sales tripled. In 2 months. And our email list is over 2,000. They're always quick to answer or help with questions. The support is great. This program works. They're awesome. This is just another example of traffic. Actually, I think it's their traffic. So they're actively driving people to their website with their emails. And this is deposits. So in 1 month, $3,500, $3,400 in deposits. Um, and they've just gone on and on. And that was in March. Yeah, March. Wow, Amy, I will admit I was skeptical, but I set up my email on last week and I've been pushing everyone to my sign up list. I sent an email out on Friday and left it there. Woke up today and I've sold 2 quarters and a sampler pack. Like that's more than I've sold in one go from an email. Amazing. I've never had so many people visit our website, and this is definitely transferred into sales, all from email. I appreciate all that you've done for me. I have nothing but positive things to say about you. Um, Sales attributed to marketing, total sales. That would be email. So that's that's nearly all of the sales are due to email, which is if you don't have email, you wouldn't be getting all of those sales, or you would be relying on them to remember. But when someone is sending you an email, you're prodding them and pushing them. Not to say they wouldn't have purchased anyway, but maybe not that much. You're plugging that leaky bucket with all these emails. So empowering farmers, this is my flagship course. This is the course that all these farmers have done. This is it's 11 modules. We update this twice a year, so everything is current. All statistics are current. All applications, technologies is always up to date. And you never get charged for updates. So if you were to purchase and work with me, you pay once and it's yours forever, including the updates. Um, there is 11 modules. The first module is an introduction, but it does go into all those steps. But the first lesson module is how to set up your social media for monetary gain. Module 2, how to get the price you want and deserve, how to identify your ideal customer and how to reach them and ensure repeat business, how to target your customer and drive traffic, how to sell out monthly, how to build your email lists, whole module on that, multiple lessons, um, how to advertise on social media, how to use automations to sell, and that is email automations and social media automations, how to analyze the data and find what works, how to set up your online store and get your product to the customer. So we teach you how to ship or deliver, what packaging, dry ice, gel packs, etc. That is all included. Um, It looks like this. You would log in and you would see all the different modules. There's the introduction. And inside every lesson, inside every module, there are multiple lessons. Each lesson is approximately 20 minutes to 30 minutes long. They all come with a transcript, teaching notes, and downloads. We also have a community. So inside we have it's based on school. We have a school community, which where the feedback we get from our farmers is amazing. This is just an example. So you can post questions in here all day, every day. We will answer them. We also have coaching. So there's coaching calls. We have actually there's more than this now. We're now up to 4 calls a week, where we have 4 coaching calls a week. There's an ads call, a social media call, and 2 general calls. They take anywhere from 1 hour to 2 hours, and they're always recorded and posted if you can't make it. And we have additional lessons inside the community. You get this included with Empowering Farmers for 12 months. It is free for 12 months. And then after 12 months, you can opt to either leave the group or you can stay in the group and pay a little monthly fee just to continue having access to all the resources inside the training and community. The feedback we get from this, people just love it. I have farmers that have been in here for 3 years. They just don't want to leave us, which is amazing. Um, this is just a little bit more testimonials. So Travis is Travis Brown, Browsy Acres. Um, these are all deposits that we kept on going up and up. Email performance over last 30 days. We started, it was awful, but over the months that I worked with him, we got their email performance up to making sales. Um, Everybody wanted to be on their list because they are Travis Brown and Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey. So everyone wanted to be on their list. They had a list of thousands, but they weren't making any sales because they just wanted to be on their list. So we cleaned their list, and we started really targeting so that I think their open rate was at like 12% when I first started with them. And then we finally got it up to the point where people were on their list because they wanted their beef, not just because they wanted an email from Travis Brown or Rhonda. Um, and then we started making sales. So 600 from an email, 568 from an email, 2,500 from an email, 189 from an email, 641 for an email. A lot of these are deposits. Some of them are for packs. Some of them are for bulk. But we really warmed up their list and got it performing. So people were actually wanting to buy beef, not just get an email from them. Testimonials. I want to focus on selling subscriptions for guaranteed monthly revenue. And he gets subscriptions every day, and he uses a lot of email marketing. If you have, I've been on Rural Radio, Sirius XM, Working Cows podcast, Farm for Profit, Ranching Reboot, Shark Farmer, and the Regenaissance. So if you've heard me on any of them, thank you. I had a lot of fun. I have some more planned for next year, which will be fun. Looking forward to that. These are just some more. Thank you so much, Amy. In the last couple of weeks, I've sold about 15 $250 boxes, a quarter and a half, making deliveries all over our city. Hours drive away, feels great and ready to tackle more. These are this other one is email marketing again. I ended up running their platform for them. They weren't making any sales, and we got their email list warmed up and over through email. I think he says we just got our third order. Who's your favorite? Guess who our favorite Canadian is right now? I didn't have the heart to say I'm actually Scottish, but oh well. But email marketing really pushed these sales. Um, oops. Wait. There we go. And then if you've been on my workshops, I often bring up Bob. Bob isn't his real name. Bob might be on the call tonight. We love Bob. He is amazing. But Bob came to us. He had paid 18,000 to that other beef marketing company, and then another 5,000 to another company, and then another 5,000 to a funnel company. And things just weren't going well. He was definitely in a hole. And we took everything over and created some landing pages, cleaned up his list, and started sending emails, and got sales. Um, 455% growth in sales. And things definitely started looking up for Bob. But a lot of that was down to email marketing. Um, Sometimes you want that unsubscribe. You want them, people who weren't going to purchase anyway, you want them to fall off and you want to focus on the warm ones. So don't be scared of the unsubscribe. Um, and these are just some more stats. 7,500 revenue, 1,800 from email, so 24%. But driving traffic, lots and lots of traffic to his pages so he can make those sales. Um, doesn't this sound amazing? Do you want this? Yep. Email, email, email. Okay, so today only, um, this is something that we do for some of our farmers, but they pay for it. But if you purchase Empowering Farmers today, I will go into the pricing in a little bit, but you will get these for free. This is tonight only. We will give you a full social media audit. We call it the Social Media Sales Magnet. It is a full social media review, and a full website review, website profit accelerator. Farmers normally pay us $1,200 to do this. You get videos and the last one I did was I think 60 pages long, but it is really is a step by step everything you need to change or do or what works, what doesn't work, about your social media and your website so you can really fine tune and revamp, a document detailing everything you need to take your social media to the next step, a Loom video walking you through everything step by step. And then the same again for the website. We will fully audit your whole website to ensure higher conversions and more sales, a document detailing everything your website is missing and how to fix it, and a Loom video walking you through it. Farmers normally pay me 1,200 for this, but tonight we're offering it for free if you purchase tonight. Um, I work with hundreds of farmers, but through those hundreds of farmers, I have access to hundreds of thousands of consumers. And we've run tests and questionnaires and all sorts to all these different farmers, consumers. So we know what converts. So we know that picture A doesn't work, but picture B gets more sales, or this layout is more striking and gets more sales. That because we work with all these different consumers, we know what converts. And that's if you can increase the chance of a sale at every step, you are way more likely to get a sale by the time they hit that checkout. So we can absolutely help you do that. So today only, this will expire tonight at midnight, if you purchase. Um, but what's even better, Empowering Farmers, the listed price currently is $3,500. It is going up after Cyber Monday. So in 5 days, on Friday, the Cyber Monday cart will be closed and the price is going up to $4,500. If you purchase tonight, it is 3,000. Um, I work with a mentor to grow my business, and they are on at me, and they have been for years, that after every 25 sales, I need to increase my price, and I don't. I'm like, no, that's not why I'm here, and that's not why I do this. And even my farmers have said you could add a couple of zeros, but again, I do this because I am a farmer. I am a farmer, and we need more farmers selling direct. Um, and if a farmer can afford to pay 18 grand, then they don't really need this. So I have always kept my prices down. So for the next 5 days, it is $3,000, and then the listed price is going to go up to 4,500. Don't miss out. But you can also pay in installments. So, if you were to purchase tonight, you will get those two free bonuses, the social media evaluation and the full website review. You can choose to pay in one lump sum of 3,000, or you can also pay in installments. Three installments of 1,050, but this will expire on Friday, Friday the 5th. But the two bonuses are only for tonight. After that, the discount still applies, but you will no longer get the bonus. All right. Question and answer time. I'm sure there's lots of questions. I hope there's lots of questions. Oh, Willow will put that link in the chat. So sellbeefdirect.com/empowering. And you can choose to pay in one lump sum or in installments. And you get those two bonuses. If you purchase tomorrow till Friday, you will still get the discount. And then Friday evening, it will jump up to $4,500. I feel like I've spoken for a very long time. Any questions? I'm going to go and have a look at the chat.
There are questions in the chat,
Perfect. Oh,
and it's fun to see that we have people from all over tonight.
oh, I'm going to go through the whole thing. I'm going to go through all the chat. Chat. There we go. Where's... Oh, I lost my chat. There. Um, why don't I just stop sharing my screen? Might be better. It's hiding. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Um, I'm gonna go all the way to the top. Hello, ranchers. So is it Mobile or Mobile? I've never known that. Alabama, Alberta, Ocala, Florida. Go down to Fort Lauderdale and you might see Muchas Mass. North Carolina, Northwest Washington. You're just over the border. New Zealand, Kia ora. Hello. Scotty's from New Zealand. South Louisiana, Portugal. Oh, Portugal Cove, Newfoundland. Newfie. Virginia. Awesome. And then there was all the other ones. Emails, Gmail, very labor intensive. Don't use Gmail. Um, bucket. Oh, I'm glad lots of you said bucket. I kind of really like that analogy. It's a good one. Can you show an example of emails sent? Great seeing the results, but content would be helpful. So we do give a lot of it inside the group. I could probably actually, let me have a look here. I will show you something. Bear with me for two.
While Amy's pulling it up, in my coaching call today, I even had somebody ask for examples, and we have around 15 in the course, and she was going to stagger those out throughout the next 15 weeks along with her own. So there's a lot of examples.
Um, So this is inside the community. This is additional. So we have these additional classrooms. And there, so one of my farmers was he was saying that people always say it's too expensive, that no one would ever buy it because it's too expensive. And we're like, no, it's not. So we did this whole email chain. It's it should come up. I think it's six emails six emails about what to send to combat that price argument. And a lot of my farmers even just cut and pasted this piece and used it in social media. But it was basically, if you think that a quarter of beef lasts a family of four for 3 months, that if you break that down to how much per person per day in your family that quarter costs, then it's not actually that expensive. So for his quarter was around $1,200. So per person per day is $3.30 per day for a family of four, which is less than Starbucks. That if you have a customer who goes to Starbucks every day, they're paying more for a vanilla latte where they could be eating enough meat to keep them sustained all day. So when you get these objections, an email can fix it, an email or social media. But I did this. I provided him all these emails to kind of break that down. So there's one about Happy Meals, there's one about drive-throughs, the freezer. But this was just one of them. But inside the course, There are email templates for your welcome sequence. There are templates for your abandoned cart sequence for there's all kinds of things. You just have to know where to slot them. So that was donation. I'm not quite sure what your real name is, but that's what it comes up on here. But that, yeah, so we do give you lots and lots of templates. Um, Going through, does this include actual templates examples? Yes, it does. If you don't use Gmail account, where do I get a more professional email account? Um, so Mike, if you're still using your Squarespace, your Gmail account is in there, but Squarespace changes it. So you're sending from Squarespace. You're sending from an email marketing platform. And if you send it from Squarespace, it actually changes it into a Squarespace d domain, but the reply to is still your email. So the when the customer receives the email, it's not coming from your Gmail account, it's coming from your platform. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But you don't send them from your Gmail. You send them from your email marketing. Hello guys, I'm not English, but I want to learn everything. Thank you. Awesome. You're welcome to write questions in if you don't want to speak. I'm option C, just wanted to see what it takes to sell beef before I go ankle deep in selling beef. So this is a learning curve. Thank you so much for letting me be here. You're very welcome. How do you determine pricing? Is 20% net profit fair? Net or gross? Like my net's only 11, but my net, that was Chris. So you can unmute yourself if you want, Chris, but my gross is 35% and my net is 11 because my net is everything. My net is mortgage, dog food, fuel, internet, power, it's everything. So my net is 11. 20% gross, I think is low because I don't know what your net is. You're on mute. You can unmute yourself, but you're on mute. Still on mute. I can see you. Your lips are moving, but I can't hear you. I don't know. No, I can't hear you. Was that enough? Um, Inside the program, we have this really cool pricing sheet. I can show you an example of it. So, do we have this pricing sheet that is in the second module, which is all about pricing, and you put in your overhead. So, if you have a cow calf operation and say 80% of your um income comes from selling calves at auction and 20% comes from beef, then that beef has to carry 20% of your operational costs. So we have you fill this out and it has everything in here, fuel, machinery, administration, anything that you spend money on, and it spits you out a number. And then this one is all about live weight, how much hay per ton, grain per ton, how many days on pasture, what weight gain you need, anything that comes with your cow, your actual cow, butcher weights, hanging weight, etc. And it will spit you out a price. So a 20% for this guy, a 20% gross margin, he would have to be at $8 a pound. But then I wouldn't know his net until his other sheet is filled out. Does that make sense? But that is inside the program. Mobile. Thank you. I always thought it was Mobile. I took a look at your website, social media, doing a great job. That was it. Any more questions? You can write it in the chat if you're shy, but it's always nice. Suze is lifting her hand up. You have to unmute yourself. There we go.
How's that? Okay.
Perfect.
Quick question. I heard you talk about conversion. So if we use a landing page,
Hmm.
have you come up with a successful way to retain the shopper's attention from when they go from the landing page into the big store and is it possible they can get in there and get lost and never purchase anything and then leave? Is there a way to
Yes, because
narrow their attention?
the landing page. So a landing page, they can't go anywhere else. So a landing page only does two things.
Oh,
You can exit the page, or they can do the thing the page wants them to do. They can't go anywhere else. So a
oh,
landing page has no header, no footer, no other links. So if it's a sales landing page, the only link on
mhm.
that page is for one product. And if it's an
Oh,
email capture landing page, then it would be a sign up block. But
mhm.
there's nothing else they can do.
Oh, thank you. I was mistaken. I thought there was a link to the main store, the
No,
e-commerce store.
no.
Okay, thank
So
you.
it's that rule of one link, one story, one
Mhm.
anything. So that landing page, the only thing it should do is one thing.
Perfect. Okay, before I mute myself, thank you again for your time. I
You're
appreciate it.
welcome. You're very welcome. Anyone else got any questions? If you're shy, you can type them in the chat, but it is nice to hear you. Micah, you're chatty. You can unmute yourself. You can ask something.
You can see if my microphone works. I don't know if you can hear me, but
I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah. There we
okay, sweet. Yeah, I've enjoyed a lot of this stuff. It's been great. Um, got your social media course a couple of days ago on the Black Friday sale, and so been going through some of that, and it's been helpful. So,
Perfect. Yeah. So are you
yeah, thank you.
have you started to sell?
I've done a little bit, mostly just like personal, like word of mouth stuff. So I like the human connection side a lot, and we don't do any shipping. I'm trying to keep everything pretty close for right now, but just trying to find more ways to branch out and communicate with people better.
We don't ship. We don't ship at all, and
Yeah,
we do 20 head a month. And we deliver. We don't deliver to your house. We kind of go to common drop-offs, but we meet everybody, or my husband does. And I kind of joke that this one time he smashed his hand and I had to drive and I did deliveries. And every single stop, everyone would be like, "Where's Scott? You're not Scott. We want Scott." And it's like he has this fan club. And then at Christmas, I went with him last year and we got so many gifts. We got bottles of whiskey, bottles of wine, home baking, all kinds of stuff. And it's really nice because they see us all the time and they kind of through email, they know us, email and social media, that there is definitely that kind of personal touch.
yeah, for sure. I'm trying to learn how to do that because I've never done social media for myself ever. So as not being a user makes it a little bit trickier to figure it out. So it's great having opportunities to learn. So
Awesome.
one of
I
the things
was
I've been trying to
one,
figure out is we sell lamb too, so that's been interesting to try to educate people on because where I'm at in the South, no white people eat lamb, so
We
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 gotta
did
we gotta branch out a little.
we did a marketing campaign for another farmer who does lamb, and I did lamb. I didn't say lamb. I said the other red meat, and I was like, and then I also did a whole heap on are you brave or are you brave enough or are you a wimp? Try this kind of thing, like kind of like an attack, but it worked. Like we sold their lamb. Yeah, it's marketing.
That's a cool idea. Yeah, I'm
Mm.
learning, so thank you.
You're welcome.
I was the one who looked at your social media, and for not being a user of social media, you're doing a good job.
Oh, thank you. I saw like people were like popping up notifications about website. I'm like, somebody's in Canada.
You're, you're doing good.
That was yeah. Hello. Hey, are you putting your hand
Thank
up,
you.
Jared? You can ask a question. You can unmute yourself.
Your installments, is that how is that paid? Every weekly or how
Month,
is it
monthly.
every month? Okay.
Yeah. So it would be
Uh,
three, was it 3 months? Yeah, 3 months. So it would be today, and then it wouldn't be the 1st of January because that's a holiday. So it would be 2nd of January, I think, and then 2nd of February.
yeah, I want to make a decision tonight because I got other partners involved in this. Um, but I'm really interested in your program I'll talk to you in September. Our farm was in dire straits.
Mm,
We managed to put some money together, and we're going to mediation in the middle of next month with some money in our pocket.
perfect.
We've sold $60,000 worth of beef.
Nice.
But it's nice, but if this is great now, but how do I keep doing this? That's where I'm lost,
Okay, yeah.
right? I only did this because we have such a following at the farm because we're possibly going to lose the farm. But I wanted to be able to do this on a regular basis
Yeah.
because this was only sympathy people signed up now that I'm believing, not as regular sales,
But
right?
they
So I want
bought
to create
once,
that.
they'll buy again.
Yeah, I want them to get buying again. I have 60 people on my list right now. I never had that before,
Perfect.
right? And they've all invested $1,000 each for a share in the beef
Nice.
that I worked out that we pay over 6 months to 2 years gets paid out. That's to me, that's not long enough. That's too long. And that money's going to run out shortly. And how do I keep increasing that sales
Mm-hmm.
from there? And that's why I'm interested in your program.
Perfect.
But I can't make that decision tonight on any money because I got two other family members that are involved. I have to make that decision,
You
right?
you have
So
till Friday. So the only thing that runs
okay,
out tonight is the bonus of if you have a
okay,
website and you want us to kind of really give you a full audit, then if you purchase tonight,
yeah,
then you get that for free. But you have till Friday for the bonus, the discount.
okay, okay, okay. That's perfect. Because that's what I may have missed that part where you said it. Probably you did say it. Probably missed it.
You'll get an
But
email after, for sure. I'll
yeah,
send an email, yeah.
I am, yeah, I am terrible with the computer. My wife told me I'm not allowed to touch the computer because you'll destroy it, and that's where I need to learn stuff. My wife's dealing with her family issues right now, so she's been dealing with past 2 months. She's been away in Ontario, so a lot of things happened with us. So this way, I want to move this ahead a little faster and kind of secure things for down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But I definitely will be talking to the other people that are involved in this farm. And my daughter is very well versed on the computers. I would say another word, but it's not appropriate right now. But
Awesome. No, that's cool. I
definitely,
did put the link.
definitely.
I mean, if you open that link and keep it open, like you can
Uh,
access it afterwards. And the link is in the chat and it is valid till Friday.
okay. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Very, very welcome. Anyone else have any
Okay.
questions? No? Um, if there are no more questions, just want to reiterate that the special offer is until Friday, and then after that, the price will be going up to 4,500. If you purchase tonight, you do get the free social media audit and the free website audit. That is only open tonight. And you do have the option of paying in installments. You can pay it, it's either going to be $3,000 or it's going to be 1,050 every month for 3 months. So December, January, February. But you do get access straight away. There is also a guarantee that if you don't make $10,000 back within 6 months, you do get a full refund. So as soon as you purchase, you get sent a contract. That contract is your guarantee. And if you don't make 10K back in 6 months, you get a refund. Um, awesome.
You did have another question come in.
Oh, did I? Oh,
Yeah. Do you
added
see it
a
loaded?
newsletter sign up on our website and advertise it on our social media. We got some sign-ups, but looking to grow our list. Sending out our first email this week. Appreciate the info tonight. Was there a question there? Or just a statement in the newsletter? Do you have
Oh,
automations set up for that? Where is Rach? Rach, you still here? Yeah. Do you have automations set up? Have they not received an email already from you? Don't be shy. We can help you. But that's awesome. Yes, it's awesome that you're growing your list and it's awesome that you're sending emails, but I would have a look into automation so that they're as soon as they sign up, they're hot, they're there, they're online, they get an email. Um, and we can help you with that. One new replay. So if you will all get the replay, I will upload it after this. I'll get it uploaded and then you'll probably get an email tomorrow with the replay link. Perfect. Awesome. All right. If there's no more questions, I will call it a night. These things make my throat go so scratchy. It always makes me feel sick, and I'm not. It's just talking a lot. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I will speak to you all soon. Thank you. Bye.
thank you.
Bye.